Hello.
So the 116 F3, a tank in which everybody tells me is absolutely awful. And I don't think that it's necessarily as bad as people say it is, but it definitely isn't one of the first picks that I would go to. If we're just looking at heavy tank reward vehicles at tier 10, this tank is the least popular among all of them, with only 2,700 games played in the past 30 days on the EU server. However, the win rate difference on this vehicle is actually pretty much exactly what your win rate is. It is a positive 0.06%, and this basically means that the tank is absolutely fine. It doesn't overperform or underperform in comparison to what they would usually get. If you go by DPG, this is actually the second highest. It's definitely not a VKK level at nearly 3k, but it is respectable at 2.7k. And if we go ahead and look at the Marks of Excellence values, you'll see that the 116 F3 is just above what the 260 is, at 5,336. So you're probably asking then, why do people say that this tank is so bad? Well, there is a slight issue with it, I will say. You see, the gun handling of this vehicle is atrocious. You get a 0.4 dispersion, which means that your shells are not going to be very accurate, and then you combine that with bad aim time at nearly 3 seconds, with bad bloom levels. Yeah, you're not going to have a very fun time with this gun. And basically anything that is a bit further away, you're going to have to make sure you are fully aimed and then pray that it then hits. And then when you combine all of that bad gun handling with the fact that it doesn't really have DPM as well, you can see why people don't enjoy playing this tank that much. And to be honest with you, I can see why it does have a bad gun, because the fact is that if this thing went any faster or had a really good gun, it would be outright OP. Because this is the armor layout for this tank. Even if we go ahead and fire full premium, yeah. And then of course it gets minus 8 degrees of gun depression as well. So now you know the backstory of this tank, I'm going to take it out for a bit of a spin with 3 different loadouts. If you want all the details about these loadouts, there'll be a link in the description where I go through a full video on them. Okay, so welcome to Abbey, where we are running with the default, standard, normal, however you want to call this loadout, where it's a 50-50 split, standard equipment, and we are running food. We're going to go to the right hand side because that is where most of the heavy tanks are going to go, and obviously this is where the tank wants to be. It wants to be on the heavy flank, it wants to be hold down, and hoping that it can make the gun work. Okay, so now that we're approaching the position, what I'd like to do on this is just sit here and just see if anybody's going to cross, which they do. You'll see that horrible bloom as well. It does have a 5-second intro clip, which, to be honest with you, is actually kind of nice, because if it was any shorter, you wouldn't have a fully, like a small reticle. So it kind of works for this vehicle, with how bad the aim time is and everything else. So it's not actually a massive downside to this vehicle. And I mean, honestly, the intro clip doesn't matter too much. As long as you can get the damage out, and it's somewhat reliable, it works. I mean, as you can see, we're not really struggling. We haven't really seen anyone that we're going to struggle against regarding standard pen. We do have 266mm of it, and the premium round is 325. Obviously, right there, you also saw the shell velocity being 1,520. We do have perfect charge on, and the standard pen the standard shell having just over 1,000, nearly 1,100 with perfect charge. So it's obviously better to just fire full gold, and let's be honest, if you did get one of these from maneuvers, you'll probably fire full gold. I'm going to actually push through a little bit here, and I hope that I can try and catch one of these out. There is the MBTB, the Peasant. I mean, all of these tanks I should be able to deal with. Just trying to find an angle to actually deal with them. I can pen this Cupola as well if he wants to go forwards. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, I guess I'm in the way, clearly. Just look at the aim time and the bloom levels, though. There we go. I mean, for a 0.4 accuracy gun, definitely doesn't feel too bad. Although it isn't very far away either. So keep that in mind. Another one in. Like, it's really not too bad, actually. 2 out of 3, that's okay. We now go for the reload. It is 35 seconds for the reload. But, and we also have to then count in the intro clip as well. But, okay, they're now starting to fall back. The thing is, we've lost over the other side of the map as well, by the looks of things. Maybe some of them... What is the mouse doing? Okay, I didn't realise that... It's best not to question it. It's best not to question these things. There is 2 FVs right here, though, which is going to be an issue. We're going to reload in a second, which we should hopefully be able to put 1 into this. And we're going to save the shell for the FVs, which are going to be back here as well. Up to 2.5k. Definitely not a bad start to the game. And what I would like to do... Oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting the BZ to still be around here. So what I would like to do is to try and push up and get behind this rock and then try and spot anything that's at the back. Which we should be able to do now. And use this rock as a hole down here. Which will work out quite well. Maybe we can kill this FV. We need to be careful, obviously, with the firing too soon as well. Okay, 1 FV is dead. I mean, honestly, the FV is the only real thing that can properly just ruin my game here. Also the fact that we're kind of losing as well. I'll try and put 1 more into this guy. It doesn't work. Need to try and back up. There we go. Just get out the way of the FV, move back over this way, and then maybe we'll move back to base because I don't think we can push this. I was hoping he wasn't going to hit that. The 261 is behind me. Okay. Well, I mean, we reload in 8 seconds. We can maybe try and ram the 261. As he was last spotted down here. I mean, he's still running. I'm definitely not going to fire on the move to try and shoot anyone here. I'm going to load APCR though. Because the mouse is the next target after this 261. I mean, hopefully they just kill each other by a ram or something. Our 261 should reload before him. Because he was stunned. Yeah, there we go. I mean, he killed him. I mean, we're definitely not going to be winning this game. But we should be able to get this 704 killed. I mean, we can try and side scrape against the 704 and then just try and kill the mouse afterwards. Don't have my repair kit yet. Come on. Yeah. Alright, now that he's dead, I can maybe try and shoot this and kill him. Yeah. 3.4. It's not a great game, but what do you expect? Yeah, they lost the other side and we couldn't push. But also from that game, you saw how bad the gun handling really was. It's not too bad accuracy-wise. Like, this number really doesn't feel like it's 0.37. It does feel a bit more accurate than that. But you can definitely tell that you need to fully aim it to make sure the shots hit. I mean, overall, we come top on the team. There's a few people that have done 0 damage. I don't think we played too badly. Sure, we could have maybe preserved some of the health. We didn't need to take a shot from the BZ, for example, at the end there. But I don't think there's any winning that. Okay, we're now on Ruinberg, and we are using the Peasant loadout, where we don't have any gold ammo, we don't have food, and we're going to go to the city, because that is where we should really be in this sort of tank. I am debating whether or not I want to go out wide to G1 sort of area. But it's also against tier 8s. So I think that for the start, we're just going to be... What on earth is it? That's a lot of tanks, actually. Yeah, we're definitely going to go to the mid. Play around about the F2 region. And then we can snipe across. I know this tank definitely isn't a sniper, but it's always worth to try and... man, I'm trying... Oh, okay. I'm now blocking everybody. Lovely. I thought the WT was going to move and then it was just a bit awkward. Yeah, this tank is definitely not a sniper, but, you know. It's worth a shot. At the start here, usually nobody wants to peek around about the E1 area, so... That's a good shot from the WT. And if you do peek, you end up getting punished for it, so... Although, they're not getting punished too much at the moment. Kind of want to do a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive here. Yeah. Wow, okay. Both of them pen. With ease. Good thing. I was... Okay, I'm definitely... I don't know. And, man, this is just bad. Real bad timing, actually. Like, that's awful. I really didn't think they were going to push this. Yeah, we've lost. Like, this is, I need to try and run away from this if I can. I need to reload as well. I really didn't think they were going to push from this side. I don't actually know whether or not this is an overmatch on my roof here. It might be. Which is why they can just pen me very, very easily. Alright. Tell you what. I should try and get these killed. I mean, from this sort of angle, they should struggle. What? Okay. Apparently they just pen the cupola as well. The cupola is tiny. Okay, and this gun is now really letting me down. Well, we hit one. I don't understand how they're this accurate. The amount of cupola snipes I've had in this game is insane. But even the ones that aren't penning, they're hitting the cupola still. That's actually mental. It's tiny! Oh, we have 12 seconds remaining. A familiar situation you're going to be in the 116 F3, forever reloading. Nice. Gun letting us down again, though. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. Like, it just... How do I miss the one that should pen, and then the one that shouldn't pen ends up penning? I don't know. 20 seconds now. Well, now that we only have 5 seconds, and they have died, the game is won. Which is surprising, honestly. I mean, at least we get a little bit of damage. Definitely by no means is this good damage that we've done this game, but... It shows you the worst of this tank. It really does. And I get that we're using the worst equipment possible, and we're not using food or anything else, but... For this type of gun, this is how it will treat you sometimes. Like, even when you have the fully maxed out equipment, it will still treat you like we've just seen in that game. Because RNG doesn't care what your accuracy is. If it's going to choose to go to the very edge of the reticle or just nowhere near, that's where it's going to go. So yes, 2k, but I mean, yeah. How many did we fire? We fired 10, we hit 6, we penned 4. And the problem with this tank, you really need to be penning every single shot. Because if you want to mark this tank, it's 5.3. Like, you really, really need to make your shots count. Okay, so for our last game, we're on Glacier, which is definitely not my favourite map, and we are using full bond equipment, we are using full premium consumables, full gold, the way this tank really should be played, if I'm honest. And I will address that we are using bond turbo, but really experimental turbo would be the best option. I've realised this now after I've gone into the game, but honestly, it won't matter too much. Like, sure, it will be nicer for that aftershot bloom and stuff like that, and it will reduce the amount of bloom a little bit in comparison to turbo, but it's not going to make a massive, massive difference. So yes, we are using bond turbo, and we're going to go to the happy corner of the aircraft carrier, or yeah, it is an aircraft carrier, to fight all the heavies. We have VZ-55. There is a lot of heavy tanks, near enough all of them actually, I think. Yes, pretty much all of them are over this way. So, we'll have to see how this goes. What on earth? Why is the BZ rushing so much? Interesting. 1. Lovely. Good. And now I'm going to put one more in. And now this guy's dead. For his very, very dumb peek. That really wasn't a good idea from him. I'm going to reload now. We have 25 seconds left. So straight away, we've got the clip in. This is why I'm saying that it's really important that if you do, for autoloaders as well in general, if you can afford to fire gold, and this doesn't just apply to high mark requirements, etc. If you can afford to fire gold when it's AP and APCR for autoloaders, you should really be firing just the gold. Because any missed shot feels just like a catastrophe in autoloaders. Right. Can we just, like, maybe push? I mean, the Vickers peeking wide is interesting. I don't really like the way that this guy has just YOLO'd the way through, but I mean, he's alive still, which is good. Chief thinking that he can side scrape, which is always funny. But we're now to 2.5k. We're going to go for the reload and back off for a second. Get those 3 shells back. Again, we haven't missed anything yet, which is the important thing on this vehicle. I am a little bit worried that we can't really progress the fight at the moment. We kind of have to sit back and wait. And I don't feel like there's any way of actually pushing up without taking a load of damage in return, like this guy's doing, for example. And anybody is pushing through. I don't know why they're trying to push through, but yeah, they're not having a fun time. This is by no means, as well, the correct way of playing on this corner, but... Alright, we're going to have to back off because the Chief and E100... Is this Chief still thinking he can side scrape? Yes. Yes, he is. Let's see. I don't really like this angle that I've been given from this, but... It's probably not worth shooting this, but we're just going to do it. There we go, that one is. Aim for the rear, maybe set on fire, never know. Alright, they have pushed up on top of the aircraft carrier now. I am on reload. I need to back off from this completely. Because this is very much not going to be a winnable situation if I don't back off. I don't know what this VZ is doing. I don't know if he wants to actually push through or not. We can play side scrape here though. I was hoping that I would be able to kill the... We're going to repair that, just in case we get set on fire. Now, we'll back off as best as we can, hopefully not taking an extra shot from the E100. We've done 5.3 so far. And what I would love to do from this position is to keep reversing around this... I don't know what this is. Glacier, I guess? Rock. It's a rock. But from here, what we can do is maybe try and side scrape on this corner. Of anybody that's trying to push. Hopefully. I don't know whether or not the E100 is already pushed. If he's already pushed, then we're in a bit of trouble. But if not, and he's just around here, then we're actually pretty safe. I think maybe the rest of them might try to go back. Go back to base and defend. Because we have pushed all the way through and we're now in their base. The FE is back there. I don't really know what the Vickers and the rest of them are doing. Alright, the E100 has backed off. Which, I mean, I'm guessing that they've attempted to back off completely then. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to the mid. I am hoping that they can kill the MBTB. I don't really know what this is. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the plan was from that Vickers, but there we go. To the mid. Aim towards the MBTB just in case he's up there. He is not anymore. We can then go up here And we can start to farm this E100, who is presenting himself lovely to us. Beautiful. 6.8k. Very, very nice. We do get spotted, but it really doesn't matter at this stage. But yeah. I don't know. 6.8k. It shows you that this tank can work. You probably want to fire full gold, though, to just guarantee yourself the damage. Yeah, as I said, with any autoloader that has AP and APCR, the APCR is always just going to be better. And the shots need to count. And as long as you can try and make those shots count as best as you can, there you go. 7.3k. You'll do very, very well. So there you go. Complete ups and downs of Voida tanks, where you have your average game where you get a loss, unfortunately, but not really much you can do. You then get a game where the gun really misbehaves and you get a little bit screwed by RNG, but you don't play exceptionally well. And then you make a good decision on your final game and you get rewarded for it. Apply. So at the end of that, we do get 8.3k combined. We do get the mastery badge, 7.3k damage. With firing 15 shots, we hit 14 and we penned 14. And how many credits did we lose? We didn't actually lose any credits. So there you go. Even if you are firing full gold, as long as you do have a premium account and you make your shots count, you shouldn't really lose credits that much. So the 116 F3, is it as bad as people say? Well, in many cases with the gun, yes, it really is a horrible, horrible tank to play with sometimes when the gun misbehaves. But if you can make sure all your engagements are at close quarters and you're not shooting too far away, it can be manageable. The rest of the vehicle is good, it's just the gun that really lets it down. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, a special thank you to my channel members for voting and supporting me and my content. Thank you very much. See you all in the next one.